So today is Saturday, the 5th of March. Almost said May there. I don't know what I'm thinking of. I've got hair. Look, it all grew back. No, I just got like some wigs and stuff to experiment with. More so for the fact that whenever I'm streaming and stuff like that, obviously I'll go bald headed sometimes, but um I don't want people coming in that are new to the stream and stuff like that and then instantly feeling sorry for me. So that's why I got some different wigs and stuff like that. And plus it's nice to just change up how I look occasionally. You know, it's just it's just what it is. So there hasn't been too much to update this week, although I was back at A&E again. So all week basically up until Thursday, whenever I noticed my PICC line had been feeling really sore. Not the PICC line itself, but like round the edges of like the dressing and stuff. So I had got out of the bath on Thursday night and then looked at my arm. I'll insert a picture now for you guys. And it looked like a burn. It looked like a cut with like blisters all over the top of it that had formed round the edge of the PICC line. So, or the PICC line dressing. So I then phoned the chemo helpline, obviously, because, you know, risk of infection and blah, blah, blah. Whenever I phoned the helpline, they basically told me to go to A&E, and I said to them, look, is there anything I can do at home? That's all I'm phoning for, is to find out whether there's something I could do at home. But they were very, very insistent that I went to A&E. So got myself together again. Took myself back to the hospital, and then sat and waited. Whenever I went in to, well, I suppose before I get to that bit, whenever I was at the hospital, there were 100 people waiting to be seen. There's like a display up, that tells you how many people are there, how many people, you know, have been admitted and blah, blah, blah. There were 100 people in the A&E waiting to be seen. So anyway, I got called into triage. We've been there maybe about half an hour at the time. I had explained everything that had went on and showed the nurse my arm, and she kind of looked at me and like, this isn't, like, she made me feel a bit crap, I'm not gonna lie. She was like, this isn't really something you would come to A&E for. Meanwhile, I'm sitting in a dressing gown with a bald head and also a cancer patient. And I'm like, it wasn't my choice to come. The helpline told me I had to come because I'm at such high risk of infection. She was like, well, this is something that a district nurse could have like dealt with rather than you coming here. And I immediately just felt like crap. And I was like, well, I'm not here of my own choice. I'm just doing what I'm told. So anyway, they said that all they could really do was take bloods and then see how my infection markers were. And then I asked, could I have the blood taken from my PICC line because like my veins are so bad and I end up black and blue. Every time I've went to hospital, I'm black and blue from them trying to get veins, and it's always in the most sore places, like in between my fingers, my knuckles, you know, horrible places. So she said then at that point, then I would have to wait on a doctor because PICC lines are such like an area for infection. It's very easy to get infected through them, that it would need to be a doctor that done it, not a nurse. So anyway, I went back out. I spoke to Chris about it and said to him, like, you know, she kind of made me feel a bit crappy, even though this isn't even my decision to be here. The reason that I phoned the helpline was so that they could give me some instructions that I could do myself at home. You know, like what was the best thing to do? So he said, well, just phone the helpline again. So that's what I did. I went outside. I couldn't do it in the hospital because the people that were right beside us, as well as that, because the hospital was so bunged, there was nowhere that I could be put by myself to isolate me from, you know, all the sick people while I have no immune system. So I was about to phone the chemo helpline, and the person right beside me decided that they were going to take a video call, and everyone in the hospital could hear them. They're like shouting at each other. I was like, right, I'll go outside in the cold in my pajamas and dressing gown, because I didn't get dressed. I was feeling too shit. I was feeling far too crappy to, like, I just got out of the bath. Getting out of the bath by itself destroys me. I have to sit in the edge of the bath for about 20 minutes before I've got the strength up then to like get dried and put like jammies on. So I'd only just done that before I was getting sent to the hospital, so I knew I didn't have enough energy to then take my pajamas off, put more clothes and all on, so I just went like that. So anyway, I phoned went outside and phoned the helpline back and told them that, like, the nurse in triage said this wasn't an A&E case, it should have been a district nurse that was doing this, and that if anything I'm putting myself at way more risk by being by being in A&E than what was happening with my arm. So they hemmed and hawed for a while, and they were like, well, if you feel more comfortable, then just go home and we can try and get a district nurse sorted out for you tomorrow. And I'm like, do you think that, like, I'm made of money to keep running back and forward to the hospital? The nurse also had said to me, oh, I'll get to that in a minute. Sorry, punch the mic. So they were like, well, if you think it's best, as long as you're not feeling unwell, which I had told them on the phone whenever I originally rang the helpline. I'd taken my temperature, told them I didn't feel unwell or anything, it was just my arm was sore. So anyway, they just said, as long as I'm not feeling unwell or anything like that, then I was good to go home. So I went back into the hospital and obviously wanted to discharge myself. I didn't want to be left on a list whenever I could see how busy they were. The reception person then sent me round into the nurses' bay and said I'd needed to do it around there. The nurse that I originally seen came over to me and just obviously to see what was wrong. I explained to her that I'd phoned up the helpline, they were fine for me to go home as long as I didn't feel like unwell or anything, and she basically said, yeah, if you start feeling unwell, come straight back. She'd said, I think it was like her sister or her sister-in-law had cancer. And she was saying just like a tip is anytime you ring the helpline, they're going to tell you to go into A&E, but unless it's an actual A&E scenario, wait and just phone the district nurses because they'll be able to deal with it. So that's a good tip, because I don't think I'm going to, unless I am feeling like extremely unwell, I don't think I'm going to bother with a helpline anymore, because their answer to everything's go to A&E basically, and I'm not made of money. I can't keep on running up to A&E like all of the time for stupid things that even I know isn't something that I should be in like the emergency department for. So anyway, the next morning then I woke up, the helpline people had phoned me back to see if I needed a district nurse, and I'm like, well, yeah, I do. Something's funky is happening with this dressing in my arm here. It hurts badly. So they organised anyway for later that day for a district nurse to come out to me. So she then redressed it, but as she was taking the dressing that was on my arm off, the skin, the entire way up the inside of my arm, ripped off and started bleeding. So that is clearly what the soreness was prior. My skin has been ripped off whenever the last dressing came off. So she took that off, my skin ripped and started to bleed heavily, and then she had to clean it with alcohol, and that was horrific. It was so unbelievably sore. Like, I was audible. I was making all sorts of noises whenever she was doing it. It was not a good time at all. She then like put gauze all down the side of where the skin had ripped. I'll put a picture up now. You can see that like the underside of my arm where the gauze is, the entire length of that is where the rip is. It's long. And then she put multiple bandages on. It like felt like a burn for the entire rest of the day. It was absolutely aching. But I don't think like I'm allergic to the dressings or anything like that, because again, it only started in that one patch, and then the reason my arm is so heavily bandaged now is because the dressing took the skin with it whenever it was coming off. So I think my skin is like weakened to the point where it's just going to come off. It's just ripping every time like I'm getting dressings on and off. And I mean, like, I've only had 2 of the 6 chemo sessions that I'm due to have. And I don't know how so I have at least another 12 dressing changes to go before the end of this. And I don't know how my arm is going to deal with it. It feels like I'll be down. My skin will be ripped down to the bone by that stage. So yeah, that was this week's excitement. It feels like this is week 16, and it feels like every single week for 16 weeks something has happened. Or multiple things have happened. There is always legitimately something to update. I wish I could just have a week where I do a vlog just chit chatting about, you know, how nice life has been that week. But yeah, that's basically the height of everything that's happened this week. My eyelashes have I'm wearing fake eyelashes now. Ooh. But my eyelashes and stuff like that have really they've started to thin terribly, which is upsetting because I have very hairy eyes. Well, not hairy eyes, but my eyelashes and eyebrows would be very full. They would have a lot of hair to them. They would have an awful lot of hair to them. So I noticed today has been the first day that I've put any makeup on in a long, long time. And I noticed whenever I put mascara on, I was like, where are they? Where did they go? They're just not there at all anymore. And that's even with the help of mascara. So hopefully, I'm just hoping that they just thin and they don't completely go. You know what I mean? Because I need some kind of guide for putting on fake eyelashes, because otherwise it's going to be a nightmare. My eyebrows as well have definitely started to thin and stuff, but again, I feel fortunate the fact I've always had really thick eyebrows and eyelashes, so even whenever they do thin, it's not like they're completely gone. I've still got something left. I done I've streamed a couple of times and stuff this week, and I'm actually going to start streaming as well after I finish recording. I'm trying my best to get back into it. I'm just taking baby steps, slowly but surely getting back into it, and it's been great to get back into a routine and remember who I used to be a bit, because that has kind of been lost through all of this. Everything stopped whenever I got this diagnosis. It felt like the world stopped turning, but obviously everyone's lives are still continuing. I'm just stuck in this weird place. So it's feeling nice and stuff to be able to get into some routine. I know obviously whenever I get my next chemo session, I'm going to have a week of downtime. But then I know now I can take baby steps, maybe stream every other day and work my way back that way. Fortunately, people are very understanding with me. So I definitely do appreciate it. But yeah, that's been this week so far. It's not the biggest update or anything like that. I'm hoping, don't hold me to it, but I'm hoping to get another video out on Wednesday doing my chemo favourites. All the things that I have found very useful through chemotherapy. Just in case you're going through it yourself, or someone that you know or love, or a family member or whatever is about to start chemo and they're looking for things that are going to make their life a wee bit easier. Then that video will obviously be for you. And if not, it'll just give you a nosy into what I've been using lately. So hopefully I'll get that up on Wednesday. It'll be 6 p.m. UK time. As per every upload I seem to do, a schedule for 6 o'clock. So again, it'll not be in the place of an update or anything like that. Sunday's vlog will always go ahead. But I'll get that wee bonus video up. At some point I will do, someone had requested a Q&A video. I'm going to work on that for Chris and I to do together, where you'll be able to submit questions and stuff, and then we'll make a video answering them. But let me work on it first, because I need to schedule stuff and whatnot. But again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it massively. Thank you for all your lovely comments. I don't think you guys realize how much, you taking a few minutes to leave me a comment means the world to me. I read every single one of them. So thank you for them, because they really do help pull you through some of the darker, crappier times that you have. And honestly, I feel like I would be lost without you guys now at this point. I know that we've only known each other 16 weeks, but you've done so much for me. So very much for me. as always, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and share. These things all, like, even a simple like, these things all help the algorithm and push the videos out to someone that might need to see them. And trust me, like, 1 in 2 of us will get cancer in our lifetime, so there's a lot of people in the same boat. So if you could do that, it would mean the world to me. And until hopefully Wednesday, if not Sunday, but trying for Wednesday, I'll see you all then. Take care. Bye.